Now, let me take you to Parliament. The chairman of the Finance Committee, Kweku Kwarteng, is urging the House to cut down on expenditure. According to Kweku Kwarteng, the procurement of glossy calendars and diaries for MPs coupled with sole sourcing of contracts imposes a huge financial constraint on the country's expenditure. He also wants Parliament to cut down on the number of MPs. Making a case for the approval of the 2022 budget, Kweku Kwarteng cautioned the NDC against moves to oppose the economic policy.
Again, a commitment by government to cut back on the exemptions we give in this economy. And as I speak, Mr. Speaker, we are aware that the exemptions bill 2021 has been laid in this House. Mr. Speaker, these are the interventions government is asking us for approval for. But, Mr. Speaker, I proceed by saying, as Parliament, not only should we be approving and supporting government in these initiatives, Mr. Speaker, we as Parliament must also lead by example. Are there ways, Mr. Speaker, are there ways the leadership of Parliament can cut costs as Ghana seeks to bridge the gap between our revenues and expenditures? Mr. Speaker, are there ways that this House we can lead by the example? The Speaker reminds us all the time that we are the representatives of the people. Mr. Speaker, Parliament should not just oversight the executives, we must lead by example. Mr. Speaker, sole sourcing in parliamentary procurements. Are we going to deal with sole sourcing procurement by this House? Is this something as a House we would like to not just oversight the executive? Is this something that we should do? Mr. Speaker, should we continue, for example, to procure these glossy calendars and glossy diaries year on year for Parliament, for which we have very little utilization? Mr. Speaker, it is not enough for members of Parliament to be out there calling out the executive and asking the executive to demonstrate commitment to fiscal prudence. We ourselves must set the example. Mr. Speaker, I must go on. I can go on and on and on. But I pause here. Mr. Speaker, we can even add, Mr. Speaker, that it is time to cap the number of members of Parliament for the Republic of Ghana. It is time to cap this House. We cannot continue administration after administration, be creating districts, be creating constituencies, be creating more members of Parliament, and to be increasing the budget. I am inviting my colleagues on the other side that we have come to a point where we need to call the spade a spade